And here's what's happening in celebrity news, y'all. The question is, where is Wendy, y'all? People want to know, where is Wendy?
No money. And I'm going to tell you something. If it happens to me, it could happen to you.
Hold on to your seats, folks. You won't believe the jaw-dropping details we have about Wendy Williams' shocking guardianship nightmare. Imagine being locked away, completely isolated from the world, and not even allowed to see your own family. That's right. Insiders are revealing that Wendy's situation is even worse than Britney Spears' infamous conservatorship drama. Her so-called guardian, who isn't even a family member, controls every aspect of her life, from her finances to her meals. The former TV queen is trapped, and her closest friends are desperately sounding the alarm. Is Wendy Williams being held prisoner in her own home? The truth is darker than you think. Get ready for the most explosive revelations yet. Stay tuned.
And that's what people responded to, her authenticity. And then at the peak of her career, she was gone.
Imagine the scene. Wendy Williams, once the queen of daytime talk, now a shadow of her former self hidden away from the public eye. The world first started noticing something was amiss when Wendy abruptly disappeared from her television show. Fans were left in the dark, speculating wildly about her health and whereabouts. It wasn't long before whispers of a guardianship surfaced, and Wendy's name became synonymous with an all-too-familiar story of celebrity exploitation.
Did you see a neurologist to find out if I'm crazy?
The revelations in the shocking Lifetime documentary, Where is Wendy Williams?, painted a dire picture of her circumstances. Executive producer Mark Ford and his team were determined to expose the harsh reality Wendy faced. According to Ford, their initial goal was simple: to get Wendy back in touch with her family.
We were all sitting on the sidelines watching, and she was crying out for help.
Did you drink this whole thing today?
Keep it there.
Okay.
Keep it there.
But the deeper they dug, the more they realized the gravity of her isolation. Wendy, diagnosed with dementia and aphasia, was being held under a stringent guardianship that left her cut off from her loved ones.
I miss my family.
I'll be here.
Wendy's plight is eerily reminiscent of Britney Spears' conservatorship saga, but with even fewer protections. Unlike Britney, whose father, despite his faults, was a family member, Wendy's guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, has no familial ties. Regina Shell, a longtime friend of Wendy, voiced her concern in a heartfelt interview, comparing Wendy's situation to Britney's, yet emphasizing the darker twist: this is a Britney Spears thing. Only it's worse, since it's not even Wendy's family who has control. Wendy's story became even more troubling when details of her financial exploitation came to light. Wells Fargo froze her accounts, citing concerns over her capacity to manage her finances.
About keeping me away from my money. This is not right. And you know this is not fair.
Despite Wendy seeking help from financial experts, the court appointed Morrissey as her guardian. Since then, Wendy's life has been micromanaged down to the most trivial details, including what and when she eats. Regina Shell recalled an incident where breakfast, ordered at 7:30 a.m., didn't arrive until nearly noon, by which time Wendy was already needing lunch. This level of neglect raises serious questions about the guardian's true intentions.
My life. My life.
Right now, she's weak and vulnerable, and she needs to be around people who aren't going to take advantage of that.
Wendy's guardianship is not just a legal arrangement. It's a stranglehold on her autonomy. The documentary shed light on the mechanisms of such a system. In New York, where Wendy's case is managed, guardianship, or conservatorship is meant to protect individuals who cannot manage their affairs due to illness or disability. However, the system can be manipulated. Guardians are given sweeping powers, including control over finances, medical care, and personal life decisions. The court's decision to appoint a guardian like Morrissey, who had no prior connection to Wendy, has left many questioning the integrity of the process.
This is the reality of what the world-famous Wendy Williams' life was under a guardianship in New York City.
The most chilling aspect is the total control Morrissey has over Wendy's life. From financial decisions to daily interactions, Morrissey holds the keys to Wendy's freedom. Legal documents reveal that multiple attorneys whom Wendy did not choose are being paid from her frozen accounts. You have now 5 attorneys who Wendy did not select and who Wendy did not select and who Wendy has nothing to do with that are all getting paid out of Wendy's finances. An insider divulged, "This exploitation extends beyond financial manipulation. It's a complete isolation from the support network that Wendy desperately needs."
You see the people that were around her, they were also very overwhelmed and confused by the situation that they were put into.
Friends and family have voiced their despair. In the documentary, Wendy's sister Wanda laments, "The people who love her cannot see her. How the hell did we get here?" Their frustration is palpable, knowing that legal repercussions prevent them from intervening in her care. The documentary's producers echoed this sentiment, expressing their growing concern as filming progressed. You could see Erica and Michael towards the end of the documentary, very, very worried, and saying to her management, "Something has to be done to help her. This is getting very dire and scary," Mark Ford recounted. The emotional turmoil is compounded by the financial exploitation Wendy faces. Before the freeze, Wendy's accounts reportedly held $50 million. Now, the exact amount is unknown, but what is clear is that her finances are being drained by a cadre of legal professionals who have little interest in her well-being. This misuse of power underscores a systemic failure to protect the very individuals these laws are designed to help.
Former daytime star Wendy Williams says she's out of cash.
But why is this happening? How did Wendy go from being a beloved TV host to a virtual prisoner? The answer lies in the insidious nature of financial guardianships, which can be exploited by those looking to benefit from someone else's misfortune. A guardian can be appointed based on a court's determination of incapacity, often without the person's input or consent. Once appointed, the guardian has almost total control with minimal oversight. Wendy's case highlights the potential for abuse in this system. Her sudden incapacity, following years of competent financial management, raises red flags. Regina Shell questioned the rapid decline in Wendy's autonomy. I don't know how she went to at least 90 Wendy to now incapacitated and can never see anyone again. What's the end game in all of this? The end game, it seems, is control and profit. The system allows guardians to monetize their position, drawing substantial fees for their services. For Wendy, this has meant a rapid depletion of her financial resources, all while she remains isolated and powerless. The documentary posed a crucial question. If this could happen to Wendy Williams, who else is at risk?
Wendy is at a facility doing her best to be her best. She's taking it day by day. People forget that she deals with grave disease.
Now, the worst part is that it didn't happen suddenly. Wendy's loved ones have been talking about her deteriorating condition for a long time, but it seemed like no one cared enough to intervene meaningfully. Wendy's son, Kevin Hunter Jr., has been vocal about his concerns for years, warning anyone who would listen that his mother was being exploited. He pointed out repeatedly that those around her were more interested in her earnings than her well-being.
They are lying, and he's claiming they're lying. They're signing her up for projects that she's not ready for, including a possible unscripted.
Kevin Hunter Jr.'s frustrations mirror those of other family members who feel shut out. He has publicly stated that the team around Wendy has prioritized her income over her health. His fears are compounded by the fact that, despite her condition, there seems to be a relentless push to keep her working.
Signing her up for projects she would never do in her right mind.
It's a sentiment that underscores a broader issue within the guardianship system, the potential for those in power to exploit the very individuals they are supposed to protect.
He accuses her handlers of taking advantage of her wealth, fame, and inability to make a proper decision. He believes her team is ignoring her mental and physical health.
Her former co-workers, too, have long been hinting at the exploitation. Charlemagne God, once a close colleague, expressed his disbelief at how Wendy's family could endorse the documentary that laid bare her vulnerabilities.
I immediately prayed for Wendy after I watched that, and I don't understand why they got the camera in that woman's face. For what?
His shock wasn't just at the content, but at the notion that her family, who supposedly loved and cared for her, would allow such an intimate and distressing portrayal to air. This sentiment was echoed by Wendy's former publicist, Sean Zanotti, who claimed that the documentary was not the project Wendy had signed up for. She thought we were focusing on the comeback of her career, Zanotti explained. Instead, the documentary showcased her decline, something that would have mortified Wendy. It's a scenario not unlike Wes's experiences, where he has often revealed the dark underbelly of fame and the exploitation that can come with it. He has spoken out about how people label him as crazy, a label that hurts his feelings deeply.
And I wouldn't be here. And on the news, they would have said it was because of a mental issue.
His candor about the manipulation he faces resonates with Wendy's story. West's insistence on staying true to himself, despite the backlash, underscores a shared struggle against an industry that often prioritizes profit over the person.
Right? Yeah. I ain't never been back to the hospital since 2015, but every time they say I'm crazy, it's just when I'm saying the truth.
Wendy's story is a tragic reminder of how quickly a life can be overtaken by those looking to capitalize on someone else's misfortune. Her sudden incapacity, following years of competent financial management, raises serious questions about the processes that led to her current state. Regina Shell's poignant question, "What's the endgame in all of this?" resonates deeply. The answer appears to be a troubling mix of control and profit, where guardians and legal professionals benefit while the individual suffers.
Yeah, y'all taking advantage of the dysfunction. Why do you want to document somebody's downfall?
West's outspoken nature offers a parallel to Wendy's plight. His battle against being labeled and manipulated by those around him underscores a similar struggle for autonomy and respect. It is an emotional process, for sure. West's ex-wife, Kim Kardashian, once said, describing their journey with his bipolar disorder, Wendy's journey, albeit different, shares this emotional complexity marked by a fight against a system that seeks to control rather than support. And that's the harrowing story of Wendy Williams' guardianship nightmare. But what do you think? Is Wendy's situation a gross misuse of power, or are there unseen complexities at play? Could this happen to other celebrities or even ordinary people? We want to hear your thoughts. Drop your comments below and let us know. Until next time, stay tuned and take care.